Monday, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. It is, like I just said, Monday, the beginning of the work week. I am just doing some trainings, but I'm about to take a break. I want to go on a walk, but I need to review some calls, do some trainings, and yeah. But welcome to a weekly vlog. I'm gonna try and mix in some work content along with just everyday stuff that's happening in my life. But right now I want to make a cold brew coffee because it's nice out today. I believe it's supposed to be warming up today and a little bit throughout the week. So I want to make a cold brew coffee, so I'll have it for tomorrow. So let's go do that first. And I also want to answer some questions that came through on my last work video. I did a day in the life as a data analyst. If you haven't seen that, I will link it above. But there were some good questions that I had from someone about how I got started as a data analyst. And I tried to answer as much as I could in that person's question or comment on that video. But I want to discuss that with you guys as well, kind of explain how I got started. And then also, what was the other question she had? I think it was how I got started. And then she asked, do I think if you can get into data analytics without having a degree? And I just want you guys to, I don't know if I've mentioned it on a video before, but I don't have a data science degree. So yes, I definitely believe it's possible that you can get into data analytics without necessarily having a degree. There are data analytics certifications that you can get through, I believe IBM has one, and then Google has one as well. I'm thinking of taking the course through Coursera that Google offers, their data analytics certificate program and whatnot. But for me, I am, I guess, what you would consider self-taught. It's things that I've watched YouTube videos on. There are a lot of people that have great YouTube content on how to get started and how to learn to code, pretty much either using SQL or Python. Those are the videos I watched a lot of. But I also learned from my peers when I worked in the office. When I got into this role, I learned from my peers. I learned from watching YouTube videos. My company also offered training internally, and then I learned from my manager. But I think it's possible to learn how to do SQL and Python, learning how to code without necessarily going through a degree program or necessarily taking a data analytics course. So it's possible. I've done it, and I'm very thankful that I work for a company that allows you to progress without necessarily having a degree in a particular field, if that makes sense. My previous manager, for example, he's been doing data analytics, he's a data scientist officially now as far as a degree goes, but he had been doing the work for years. And I don't think necessarily that you have to have a degree to do that type of work. You can learn if the opportunities are there, and there's a lot of it. We live in a day where people like me, we're discussing what we do online. People are showing how to do things on YouTube videos. There's a lot you can learn. There's forums that you can go to, just a quick Google search. If y'all saw my Google search history on how I looked up how to do a specific piece of code, we all do it. I'm sorry. Tell me a data analyst that does not Google something. It can be something very simple. We gonna Google it. That's what Google is there for. You're not going to remember 100% of everything. You will probably remember the basics or things that you do, that are repetitive, that you do over and over and over again. But if it's something new you need to learn, that's what Google is there for. Y'all look that shit up. That's what I do. That's what I'm sure pretty much all data analysts or scientists do. We Google it, okay? We gonna look it up. So don't be embarrassed or don't feel oh, I'm not gonna be able to get in that type of role because I don't know everything. I think if you know the basics and the core, I think you can proceed and get into data analytics. So I got started in data analytics by like just my trajectory. Let me just go back and explain how I got here. So I started in customer service at my company, moved into what we call a project role, which is a temporary position, doing speech analytics. From there, I went into a permanent role in reporting. And in reporting, I was what we call a front end user as far as reports go. In my company, the data scientists, data analysts, they are the ones that were doing the coding and creating the Tableau dashboards or creating reports for us to use in Cognos, in Click. They did all the coding, they gathered all the data together based on the requests that we had, and they would put it in those tools. And I was what we would consider a front end user. So I would go into the dashboards that they created and pull the information that I needed, put them in a PowerPoint presentation so that I could use that, or just have the report for whatever it is I needed to use in my day-to-day work. Most of that was probably in a PowerPoint presentation though. So that's what my role was in reporting as a front end user. And from there, like, I tried to master and become an expert of all the information that we used on a daily basis from that front end role, learning how calculations work, because a lot of the things are formula based, if that makes sense. Like, we have a lot of metrics and things that we hold ourselves accountable, that we hold our employees accountable to. So you have to understand, even as a front end user, how that works, because your leaders are going to ask you, okay? They're going to ask, like, I don't understand why this is the way it is. Well, you have to be able to explain that, which I believe in my answer under that comment, I mentioned that you have to be good at storytelling. You have to be able to tell a story. Having all this knowledge of how the data works doesn't mean anything if you can't explain it to someone else. Like, a part of being a data analyst is that you have all this data that the company is gathering and you need to help them make sense of it. Like, what does this mean? Okay. So yes, coding is a part of that. Being able to create dashboards is a part of that, but you also have to put it in a way that makes sense. You have to tell the story. If you can only code and you can't tell a story, that is not going to make the job easier for you, because I always say this, like, data analysts, I think it's hard for us to communicate because we're like always in the data. Like, we're always like in numbers and reports. And the way I would talk to another data analyst about something is not the way I would communicate that to like someone on the front end. It's not. So you have to be able to do both. That'll make you a better fit in the role. Not to say you can't, but I'm just saying, like, for a lot of roles, at least from my experience, you have to be able to explain that information to someone in layman's terms, kind of like lawyers. Y'all, I wanted to be a lawyer when I was a kid. So lawyers, they have to take all this evidence and all these things and present it to a jury in a way that makes sense. Yes, they have their lawyer talk, but they also have to explain things in layman's terms so that it makes sense to just your average person, So that's what we do as data analysts. We have to take all this code and make it make sense to your average person, because not everyone is a data analyst and understand how that thing works or these things work. So that is a part of the job. But that is how I went into data analytics. From reporting, I applied to a data analyst role because that was the next step. And no, I had no coding experience before then. I don't have a data science degree. So I went into that role without that experience, but I had the front end knowledge of all the tools and how that worked. It was just a matter of learning how to code and learning how to get all that data into these dashboards, like creating Tableau dashboards and creating Click reports and ThoughtSpot and all the other things, like we don't use Cognos anymore, so not necessarily that, but, learning how to put it into tools, but also knowing how the data works, I feel like gave me an advantage because these tables are laid out to laid out like Excel, for example. You have columns and rows. That's how these tables are laid out when you look at them. But I just wanted to address that really quickly. Now let's go make this coffee. So y'all, I got these little cold brew bags from Amazon, and I just pour the coffee in here and put it in this mason jar and let it go overnight. Hopefully I can pour it in here without spilling it, because normally I spill. I'm a spiller. And also, this is the Javalia Columbia Roast. I hate Columbia Roast coffee. I've learned that after buying. I don't like it, but it's tolerable as a cold brew. I don't like it hot. And I'm trying to use up the rest of this, so. Had a burst of energy. Okay, and I forgot whose channel I saw this on, but they do like 20-30 seconds of hot water, and then they put the cold water in. So I've been doing that too. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I'm sorry for checking in so late. I think I just showed you guys this morning when I went to Starbucks and got a coffee, but it's lunchtime now. I've been working. I had a few calls. I had to actually review some calls as well, so I had my headphones on, so I couldn't really talk. But now I'm on lunch, and I need to write out a to-do list of things, because I gotta be an adult and get some things done. Like, I need to schedule an eye exam. It's like, it's kind of like the beginning of the year, your benefits and things renew, so I need to schedule an eye exam. And then I want to get a new pair of glasses. I don't know how you guys do it, but I usually alternate, like, because my vision insurance will cover, I believe, up to $100 towards glasses or contacts. And last year I did contacts, and I try to alternate it and do contacts one year and then do glasses the following year. So I want to get some more glasses. This pair of glasses, and as well as like my most recent pairs of glasses, have all been from Warby Parker. I really like it that their glasses, you can pretty much get a pair for like $100. So they don't submit on your behalf for insurance, but I can submit the documentation to get reimbursed after I pay for it. And the glasses, I want to say they're like $95 a pair normally, but I pay an extra $30. I think it's to have like a thinner lens, because my vision's not great, y'all. Like, I can't see without contacts or glasses. But I really like that. It's less expensive, because I've gotten glasses from like Two Pair and from Target. I don't understand why glasses cost like $300-$400, and that's like after insurance. It's absolutely ridiculous when you go through these places, the amount they charge for some glasses. So yeah, if I can get a pair for like $130 or $125, I'm gonna do that instead. And then my insurance covers most of it, and I'm only out of pocket that, I think, is at that $30. If they kept their fees the same since the last time I ordered, it's like $30 to get a thinner lens. That's what I believe. So I want to go on their website, and because Warby Parker, if you don't have like a store, because they've been doing some stores, like there's one in a mall that's pretty close to me, but I may go there one day. I don't know, but I do know they offer an at-home try-on. The downside is that you can't do all of their glasses for at-home try-on, but they usually have some pretty decent pairs of glasses. Like this is a tortoise print in, I believe the frames are hues. I think this, yeah, it's hues. The letter, like, it's kind of rubbed off some, but yeah, hues is the style that I have if you're interested. And I have it in tortoise. I also have it in black. I have another pair of glasses they no longer offer in tortoise print as well. If you don't know, I love leopard print and I love tortoise print. So I may get, depending on what glasses I end up liking and finding, I may get another tortoise print or black pair because that's my favorite. But yeah, I want to go online and do that. I need to get an emissions inspection on my car. If you live in a state or in an area where you have to get an emissions test, I'm gonna tell y'all a trick my daddy told me because my dad's a mechanic. What he said is go the month after your birthday. So if they find something, because the emissions inspection is good for a year. So go the month after your birthday. Because if they find something wrong or you failed the emissions inspection, you have like a whole year to get whatever that issue is resolved and fixed. Whereas if you go a couple weeks or even the month before, you're kind of on like a time crunch where it's like, you have this short, limited amount of time to figure out what it is that you want to do and how you can get the car repaired and get the issue fixed and then go back and get retested. So instead of waiting close to your birthday or when it's time to get like your tags renewed and whatnot, just do it the month after your birthday. If something comes up, you have an entire year pretty much to get the issue fixed, get it retested, and move on with your life. So just a little hack for you guys. So emissions inspection, eye exam. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm trying to think. I think that might be it because I already went to the dentist. So yeah, that should be it. Okay. So I need to schedule those things and get that hopefully sometime this week. And then also I'm going to order the at-home try-on kit from Warby Parker. Order those because the at-home try-on kit that you do, there's no prescription lenses. It's just glass. So yeah, you can order those ahead of time and just figure out what glasses you want. And when you have your renewed prescription, you can go ahead and just submit that in order. So that's what I'm going to do. I will probably check in with you guys either a little later today or tomorrow. Okay, y'all, I forgot to mention, I went to Bath and Body Works and I actually purchased this candle holder and then also these two candles. Bath and Body Works is doing like a little tribute for Black History Month to the perfumer who created these scents, who is Black, or I believe he's Black. But yeah, his name is Michael Kirby. So yeah, just wanted to show my little haul. I have this little turtle candle holder. Y'all know I love candles, okay? And I love turtles. Like, I have a turtle candle holder here. I have a little turtle. I have turtles all over the place throughout my house. So yeah, I had to get that. But yeah, okay, bye. Okay, you guys, so on today's agenda, as far as work goes, I've been working on a project for the last maybe week. I think it's a week. It's been off and on. Like, I haven't been able to dedicate all of my time to it, but it's a project I'm working on, like a speech analytics project. I believe I mentioned this a couple of days ago that I used to do speech analytics, and it's a skill like that I still have to use even in data analytics. That may not be the case for every data analyst, so I don't want to say, oh, you have to do it, but like there may be skills or things that you learn from other roles that you may have to use in a data analyst role. And for me, that is something that I have to use as well, because we have employees that interact with customers, and I work in performance management, and a part of that performance management is employee performance. So I do need to know how interactions are going with customers to an extent. So I have been reviewing, I've been using speech analytics, which allows me to listen to phone calls. So the speech analytics piece allows me to kind of like analyze the call between the customer and the employee. So I can get customer information, because in data analytics, yes, there are tables out there that has certain information like customer information, employee information, like, but I will say there are certain situations where the information you need isn't going to be contained in a table. And for the project that I'm working on, I needed to actually hear the phone call. It's not something that, as far as data that we capture, that we would be able to capture at this point. Like, the technology is not there. And even with speech analytics, it's a type of software where it tries to interpret what the customer is saying, what the employee is saying, tries to get their emotions. It's not 100% accurate. I probably give it like a 40% accuracy, because it will transcribe the call for you as well, or try to. So because it's not 100% accurate, you definitely want to still listen in, because it's shown me that one person is saying this and it's nothing close to what it transcribed. So you definitely want to listen to it. But we do use like it in reporting for other purposes. But for what I needed to listen to the call to see what was happening. So I think over the past, how long have I been working on this? For maybe like a week and a half. I've been working on this. Listening to calls when I can, because I have other things that I've been doing. But I have reviewed 100 calls, and it's just a sample. Like, I can't listen to every call, but I got my sample together. I created a tracker in Excel where I have like all the contact information, like all the things that you can get from a table for, like, as far as data analytics go. And then I have in there some questions that I wanted answered that will allow me to address the like client's concerns as far as why we're doing this project. So, and what they wanted to find out, because they're wanting to make some changes that could significantly impact employees. And I need to gather this data, and I'm going to pivot the results in this Excel sheet and try to come and see, like, should we, like, what is my recommendation? Do I recommend that we make these changes that they're wanting to, or not? I did do like a preliminary pivot table when I was like about halfway through, and my initial result was that no, based on what I'm seeing, we should not be implementing the change that the business is recommending that we make. My recommendation was no. That was the initial feedback I gave. So I'm curious to see if that will change now that I've have my sample of 100 calls. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, putting that data or pivoting the data in Excel, which I believe I also mentioned this. Having Excel skills is important as well, because for this particular situation, I had to manually enter data into an Excel tracker. This isn't something that I would create a Tableau dashboard or a workbook or a ThoughtSpot report. Like, it's not something I would create those types of reports for. This would be, let me do the tracker in Excel, pivot the results, and then I'm going to create like a PowerPoint presentation, just probably like a one slide thing, because it's real simple. So that's what I'm going to do and be working on today.